Hey guys, let's talk about Bitcoin and why people need to stop preaching or people need to stop evangelizing. People need to stop forcing people to understand Bitcoin and use Bitcoin. There's no need for it. Why? And why it actually people will understand it in the future. People that need to know about it. Okay, but prior to that, you shouldn't, right? You should stop begging people to use Bitcoin. Stop begging people to understand Bitcoin and definitely don't abuse them. So am I. I'm the CEO of Orukka. Orukka is a smart payment ring. We allow you tap to pay with your ring. So right now I've got my bank on my fingers. Okay, so we allow people pay with your rings. Our rings work with fiat and they work with crypto. So they work with anything. Effectively, you can top up. I think right now we're alive in about 35 countries and we're growing. We can work in 200 countries actually because we link to MasterCard. But we do need some connection to banks, so about 35. Again, just go online, www.orukka.com. And if we're live in your country, you can order it. If you can click on order, then you're in. And then you can just start to pay with your ring. Just top up and go. So this is a bank on your fingertips. It's not like, because you have some few payment rings that are sort of a duplicate of your debit card, so that if your phone gets stolen or if your ring gets stolen, you're gone. Okay, and then you're troubling already, or you're in trouble. But with this now, it's actually a bank in its own right. So if this gets stolen, what you have on this ring is what's stolen. Okay, it's a full on app, a fintech app on its own. And it's interesting, it's cool. You go for a run. If it gets stolen, you can just block it and that's it. It's exciting. I think that we've just launched less than 6 months, about 6-7 months ago. So 6-7 months, about 6-7 months ago we launched. So it's growing really fast and we're delighted. No adverts, okay? Apart from this that I just did here. But what I want to talk about was Bitcoin. Okay, so Bitcoin is growing a lot. Okay, and it's fast growing. A lot of people know more about Bitcoin than we did, right? A lot of bankers now start to accept it. Okay, we hated Bitcoin. I can tell you in terms of banking. I mean, I've worked in banking for the last 18 years, 19 years of my life. Bankers did not like Bitcoin. They definitely thought it was just a bunch of codes on the bank, which is quite funny because banking is a code, right? Bank is all about codes. When you go to a back office in the bank, you're going to see it's all numbers. The piece of paper is the representation of numbers. If I was going to see exactly how much you have in your bank account, I open up a code that's held within a bank. So it was funny when CEOs came out, myself included, came up and we said, "Whoa, Bitcoin, we don't trust it. We don't know who invented it. It's just numbers, and numbers could be hacked. Banks could be hacked. Exchanges could be hacked." So it's just funny the way we've come out of that. And I'm glad we've all come out of that hypocrisy now, so that we have central banks who actually own crypto. And we have, a lot of central banks, a lot of governments, a lot of banks now actually advise their clients to buy crypto. Again, it's a diversification of your portfolio. If a customer knows what they want to get into, they should buy it. Okay. So that brings me to the first point, which is Bitcoin should not be marketed. Okay, because if you think about it, right, it's a no one markets MasterCard or Visa. If you thought about it, MasterCard or Visa, no one goes, "Oh, please use MasterCard, don't use Visa." You'll use both, okay? Because it's a payment mechanism. Just goes from A to B. Okay, so if it works, it works. If it works, you don't have to preach to anyone. Does that make sense? And that's the case now. So Bitcoin only started to work now. It started to work because, number one, it's earned its stripes. It's gone through some volatility. It's gone through very tough periods. Now banks are starting to take it serious. And with that, it slowly gets credentials, right? And it goes up in value. And people start to use it. In fact, Bitcoin was invented, if you check the white paper, it was invented for, a peer-to-peer transaction. It's meant to be a peer-to-peer transaction medium, money. So why people buy and hold it is a different conversation, right? Maybe they want to hold it because it's a good pressure, they want to replace gold, maybe. But the point is, for you to earn your stripe and for you to be important, it has to be useful. Yeah, and a lot of people are using that, by the way. So you can top up with Bitcoin with this. It's becoming more useful. Strike, not Stripe, Strike have a payment as well where they actually use Bitcoin to transfer cash from one person to the other. And they have what's called Lightning nodes, which actually makes the transactions quicker. So the whole argument about Bitcoin being slow is now being thrown out the door so that the utility is coming in. If something is useful, then there's no need to sell it. I mean, you don't see Volvo or Audi or Mercedes selling their cars right outside the door. No, because it's useful. If you need a car, you're going to go buy a car. Yeah, that's the same thing. So if you need Bitcoin, you're going to use Bitcoin. There'll be no need to sell it. So please, guys, don't be out there saying, "Oh, please buy Bitcoin, please use Bitcoin." People that want to use Bitcoin will use it, okay? The whole evangelism thing, orange pill, red pill, blue pill, it just comes across a bit too much, right? And then it also makes people doubt, right? If the first thing I do, I come out here and I say, "Oh, buy my ring, buy my ring." The first thing that comes out of your mind is to doubt it and find out, hey, what's happening here? Why? But that's different if you get robbed tomorrow, because now you've heard about it. If someone robs someone tomorrow, your phone is lost tomorrow, you go, if only I had my ring, I will not need it. So we don't have to force you, but we'll plant it there so that if you need it tomorrow, you use it. If you want to go for a run tomorrow and you have your backpack and you get injured because you're using your backpack, you go, wait a minute, maybe I need just a ring to tap to pay. Maybe I don't need this backpack. If your phone battery dies at 5 p.m. when you're stranded, you have to find a way back home, you can say, wait, maybe I need a ring where I don't need a charge. Again, I'm selling my ring here, but the truth is, we don't have to sell it if there's a functionality behind it. Because it comes mentally, I see a lot of people, who join, obviously, they've ordered our rings now, right? A lot of people order it. But the first thing they say to me whenever, they see the ring is, I could just pay with my phone. And I said, that's the problem. The fact that you're saying that means that you don't need it, and it's okay. You don't need to need it. People that need it will know. And funny enough, what usually happens after 2 to 3 weeks, the same person comes back. And I know because my customers are, people write in and go, hey, when ordering, you can also put notes, right? So people actually put a note to go, hey, I thought I wouldn't need it, but now I need this because my battery's died on me twice. Because these don't use battery. There's no battery in these things, right? You just tap to pay. Just tap to pay. So it's really cool. I mean, this is a blingy one, but we have simple white, green, blue, every color. But the point I'm trying to make there is the fact that you don't need to evangelize. You don't need to become like a cult kind of personality. Although there are some fans of our rings, okay? They're fans of Bitcoins. They're fans of things, right? But the point is, those guys, you don't really need to keep going and preaching to people, especially when there's the internet these days. Those people know. And when they need it, okay? And then it's going to come out there, right? And the other point I think which is important, is people have different, risk tolerance, okay, and basically just technical complexity, okay. I say that because Bitcoin is very risky. Everyone knows how risky it is. It goes up and down a lot. So if someone is very risk averse and you go ahead and you tell them about Bitcoin and they see the next day and it's too risky and drops, then it's your responsibility because you push them to buy it. The same thing as well with complexity, okay. So we have obviously our rings, I'm going to say it again, is tap to pay. You don't need to know that you're using Bitcoin. Don't need the seed phrase. Don't need the complex. We have an API connection to most banking providers, right? But the point is, as far as you're concerned, you're tapping to pay. You don't need to know if it's Visa, MasterCard, if you're using Strike, if you're using bank, you're using faster payment, Fed now. Again, we're using all these things in the back end, but the average person doesn't need to know that. That's the same thing I see with Bitcoin. Bitcoin, you don't need to know the seed phrase, the wallet, the cold storage, and all that. It's just too complex. It was always complex to me, and I worked in banking. So I remember when I saw that, and I looked at it, and they said, oh, here's your 21 seed phrase, write it on this piece of paper, chew it and swallow it. It freaks you out because immediately you're like, whoa, do I really need to do this? Or why not just use my bank card? Why not use my normal, whatever I use every day, right? So the point I'm trying to make there is the fact that one, people are very risk averse. People get very nervous. So just leave it. And then when they look through it, when it gets to the level that they want to understand, then they can do it. Yeah. There's no need to keep advertising and over advertising. Okay. But there's always a few people that argue and say, oh, the numbers go up. Okay. If you keep saying that the numbers goes up, what happens then is the small time it goes down, which is very small, everyone runs away from it and go, wait, oh my goodness, it's going down. Especially people that were not too convinced or were not too sure about it. Yeah. So that's the point, right? So don't sell it too much, right? Otherwise, it becomes a bit of a concern. And then the wrong people, the wrong crowd get into it, which is the case that we've seen with all the memes, right? So I'm glad the meme coin thing has died down. But we all know what happened with Bitcoin last year, 2 years ago. Everybody wanted to have a meme coin, right? Those are the wrong people going into this, because what will happen is they just give the entire industry a bad name. So the old meme coin thing came up and everyone wanted to have a meme coin because they've heard of Bitcoin and Bitcoin's going up and up and up and up. Oh, and they had like the NFTs came in and they were going up and up and up, and everyone just jumped into it. But I can tell you those are the wrong crowd because they jumped in and jumped out, right? And they've all gone now. So hopefully you've got the right people now that are within Bitcoin and using it. Okay. So again, my idea is, things like this work best when it's very boring, right? When it's slow, so that you don't need to convince people. If it's boring and it's working away in the background, that's what you want to hear. I always have this issue with my, team when they say, "Hey, you want to give an update?" Oh my God, I say, "No, no, no, you don't have to give me an update. If you give me an update, then it's either that one, you're making up the update, or number two, something has gone wrong, or you're trying to just please me for no reason, right? But the best thing to do is just, hey, do your work. If you're working and there's no customer complaint, if you're working and customers are paying and going with no problem at all, then that's good. Boring is good. The same thing Bitcoin. Bitcoin is working. No one's going to know about Bitcoin because you just have to pay. You just take your Bitcoin, travel abroad, use your Bitcoin abroad, which is what Bitcoin is supposed to be. And so that's what we're getting to, right? Hopefully we get more people who get into that, right? So that there's no need to keep paying or keep selling or keep advertising, right? The whole idea of Bitcoin was meant to be, borderless payments, going from A to B without, tracking, with no one tracking you, with having some sort of sovereignty. Okay, then show it. Which is quite funny. I remember saying this I was talking to a Bitcoin lover, okay? And then the Bitcoin the first thing he said to me is, "I don't want to use my Bitcoin. I just want to keep it. I just want to keep it." And I said, that's not the best approach. If you really want your Bitcoin to be appreciated, you should spend it. The best thing that could happen, I've forgotten the guy's name, I think it was called Alejandro. Correct me, guys, if I'm wrong. The guy went in and bought Bitcoin for 10,000 Bitcoins for one pizza. Right? That was the best thing he could have done because he really helped the Bitcoin agenda. He helped evangelize Bitcoin because people that knew about Bitcoin just based on that shopping, that they found out that you can use anything other than money to pay for something. Anything other than paper money, sorry, because Bitcoin, you're using it as a currency. You're using it as a currency, it's money, a form of money. Yeah. No matter how much people play around with linguistics, if I can pay you with a Rolex, that Rolex has become a form of money. If I can pay you with a gold bar, that gold bar is a form of money. If I can pay you with cows is a form of money. Salt has been a form of money. We know grains were forms of money. So what do you have now? Bitcoin is a form of money. If it's accepted, it's accepted. If it turns out then that it's not traceable, then it's better than what we have in banking. See what I mean? So let failure, I suppose, be the teacher in the sense that people should go in and actually look and try and fix or see what's happening, see, maybe go through inflation. They experience it once. Maybe they have 10,000 in their bank account. They come back by the December, they turn out that they have 9,800, which is actually what happens with inflation. If that happens, then clearly they can see it. If they see it, then they turn around and say, whoa, maybe we need something else to spend money. We need to save in another form, a medium, other than the stock market. Maybe we use Bitcoin. Maybe we use gold. You see what I mean? So people need to understand these things and experience it. And once you've mentioned it, they'll come back to it. I talked about our rings at the start of this video. We just mentioned the rings. We haven't gone ahead to say, hey guys, we've not taken out any ads. Number one, because I can't afford it. Number two, I talked about a video about evangelists, about these influencers, how they can afford videos. We can't afford it, so we just focus on just creating the rings and putting it out there to our customers. And we sell out. Based on what we have, we just sell out, create more, sell out, create more. Right now, I think we've sold out. Yeah, today there's more coming, but as soon as it's packed, it's gone, right? So that's the idea. We focus on actually getting people who need it, right? And someone who needs it will order it immediately. I've seen people who just all come in and order gold, silver for their family, wife, children, because they want their kids to be safe. They don't want them walking around with phones or credit cards anymore, right? So just give them a ring, right? I've got a school that came in and want to keep their school screen free, so they order these rings and then they have in the school colors. That's cool. So that's my point. That if you trade out there, people need it, they come to you to order it. Same thing as well. People need information about blockchain or Bitcoin. They're going to come to you because they know you're the Bitcoin person. But until they come to you, there's no need just going into dinner or family dinner and bringing it up every time. Don't be like me, because I'm the banker, so I always bring up savings. I always bring up banking topics. I always bring up every time I bring up finance, which my kids, wife, everyone, they're scared of me bringing up any topic on the dinner table these days, because I'm just boring. Don't be the boring guy. Don't be like me. Yeah, be fun. Let them know that's what you do. If they know you do Bitcoin, then do Bitcoin, and that's it. Stop there. And if people want to know about Bitcoin, they will know because they will experience it in the future. Right? They're going to travel somewhere and feel the inflation in truth. They'll come in and feel maybe some, or lose trust in institutions, which we do a lot. Banks close almost every time. So if they close, guess what? They're going to think twice and go, I need a way around this. Yeah. So that's it for now. I'm going to stop there for now and get back to work. Rant over. Guys, if you need us, again, you know where we are, orukka.com. Order your ring, tap to pay with your rings, okay? And that's it for now. So I hope you've learned, guys, about Bitcoin, about how not to keep preaching about Bitcoin, but to wait and let people experience it and need it. All the best, and catch you in the next one.